Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me, if I can follow up, if I can here, in regards to Mr. Berry, just to follow up on the, I understand the $6.9 billion. You don't question that. You want to give it to the post office sooner than later. Okay. We all agree on that. The $50 billion, give or take, do you agree on that number? I mean, let's, because I understand you're got the process all convoluted between both sides here. So do you agree on the number?
It would take, we would need to get the actuaries on all of the parties in a room together to narrow
Let me
down
stop
the
you there.
number.
But you said you had actuarials do the work.
The distinction, and I appreciate, Mr. Levy, your message that, we are following the law, because that is what has driven our interpretation, is applying the standard of the law. The law has us do this on an annual basis and not look forward in terms of the issues that you heard Mr. Levy discuss on fair and equitable.
So let me try it again. The work that your actuarials did, do they indicate any overage payment, any payment above 1 million, 10 million, 30 billion, 50 billion, any number?
We would agree there are many ways to accomplish the goal of a fair and equitable
That's not the question I asked you. That's not the question I asked you. Let me ask you this. Can you provide to us the study that your actuarials did in regards to this issue?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you provide also, I know we got a letter from you about your legal interpretation, kind of from your counsel to you to then us, but I'd like the legal analysis that was given to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll get the actuarial documentation, which will show how they did their analysis on this question of the money, not the process, on do they believe or not. Is that, we're clear on that?
Yes.
Okay.
And Senator, if I could, because I'm not trying to avoid your question. It is, when you look into the future, you have to make certain assumptions.
I understand.
On inflation rates, on mortality rates, on the difference between genders, on all of these other things that need to be accounted by actuarial. And that's where, in other words...
I understand that part. I will tell you, as a former mayor, I had to revamp several retirement programs, police, fire, our whole system, for all of it. So I just want to make sure I understand you'll have a basis of assumptions that will differ from his assumptions, the union's assumptions, everybody's assumptions. But I want to see if there's a number and how you got there.
Gotcha.
Okay, then we can argue over assumptions, inflation rates, return on investment, all that stuff.
And knowing of the importance of this, and both with Senator Collins and the chairman and the whole committee, and appreciating the criticality of this issue, I can pledge to you our actuaries stand ready to be here to help inform your judgment on what is fair and equitable.
I will tell you, in all my years of having to deal with this issue, from a smaller perspective, they're still in the hundreds of millions of dollars. It took many years to resolve these issues between the unions and the individuals, as well as the retirees who are out of the system because there's no group representing them, and the list goes on and on. So I'm very familiar with how this works. I just want to see your assumptions. Mr. Levy, were you about to say something in regards to this also?
Yes, I just wanted to make a quick comment. The 50 to 55 billion relates entirely to past payments. It has no actuarial assumptions. It's the 6 to 8 billion for the future that has actuarial assumptions involved.
Well, do you want to respond to that? Because what I care about, the 6.9, no one disagrees with that, right? You're just going to pay it at some point if we give authorization. Okay. What I'm interested in is the 50 billion.
The 50 billion number, in 03, you all determined on past behavior.
I wasn't here. So.
Well, but there was a 73. There was a determination by the Congress, Senator Collins was, that there was an overpayment, $73 billion. You directed us to pay it, and we paid it back. In 06, you did the exact same with military service credit, a $28 billion credit. And it was a determination of the Congress that it would be fair and equitable to have that paid by the Treasury, not the Postal Service. It is reasonable that the Congress might decide in this circumstance that a fair and equitable solution would require a new determination of that number, and if it determines it, we will quickly implement it and pay it.
Okay. Mr. Donohoe, let me ask you if I can, I got just a few seconds left, really. In regards to eliminating Saturday services, you know, we've sent you a letter, we're concerned about this from a variety of reasons, the rural component, but also as a small business person, what it will impact a small business owner who really depends on as much delivery time as possible. They're not corporate, they don't have mail runners to go package up their stuff and ship it over to the post office. The owner has to do it, and they have to go do it, and small businesses depend on delivery as well as making sure that they get their mail coming in for supplies and so forth. How do you respond to that? For that small business owner, you know, and I'm talking small, 50 and under employees, not the 200 and under as SBA defines.
Well, it's, again, as we've looked at what would be the best day, if any, to eliminate delivery Saturday, is it generally the volume is about 10–15% lower on Saturday than the rest of the week. We will keep post offices open on Saturday, so people would have access to our 30,000 plus post offices.
For shipping packages and so forth
Bring
for
them
the
in,
small
ship
business.
them, right. We'd be able to provide that service. Now, we will not be running what we call outgoing mail that night, so that mail would go out on Monday. But they would have the access to our services.
Okay. I have my time has expired, but I have several other questions. I'll just submit them for the record and then go from there.